Well, hey, so look what bloomed for me. This is my Cattleya walkeriana cerulean, and I can't lie, this is a really runty Cattleya walkeriana. I've never seen one this small before. The blooms on it, it looks like it's about 2 or 3 inches long. The form on it isn't great. I mean, the petals are pretty flat for the most part, but the sepals, actually no, I take that back. The sepals are fairly flat, but the petals kind of go back like little horns. The color on her is really fantastic. Very impressed with like the level of blue detail that's on this. And the fragrance in the morning is pretty nice. It's not the strongest Cattleya walkeriana ever, but you know, this is a first bloom, so maybe it'll get better. Not sure, but on with it. So this is kind of the best visual explanation of what a flower spike looks like versus a new growth on a Cattleya walkeriana. So this pointy one right here that looks like a solid chunky leaf, that is a new growth. And actually, just looking at this leaf, you see how it's fat at the base there? It looks like it might be making a flower spike or a bud or two inside of that growth as well. And let me kind of point at it. See how it's really fat here? That might indeed be a flower going to be popping out of this. And these do bloom off of regular growths as well. Like you can kind of see this flower spike here from a regular leaf, and then this is what the old flower spikes look like from the specialized growths. And I do have a specialized flower spike popping up as a side branch, which is exciting because I didn't know it would do that. Let me see if my camera will focus. Let's see if I put my finger in here if it'll help. Nope, not helping. But this is what the flower spikes look like. They kind of don't look pointy at all. Like, see how this leaf looks pointy and kind of substantial? The kind of leaf-looking structure on this looks more like a hood. And once the buds begin to pop out, they get this swelling at the tip. And I do have a bud popping out here. I'm hoping the second bud can push out through there because I think there's 2 buds. So spraying for thrips. I have my thrips came back. They came back with the vengeance, and I never see them until it's absolutely too late. I see them when they're pretty much, they've already gotten done eating my buds, and my buds are turning yellow and falling off. So I've been spraying with a product called Monterey Garden Insect Spray. It's an all-natural sort of bacteria-based insecticide, and it's really not toxic at all to animals, plants, or humans, which is why I chose it, because I don't really want to spray anything too crazy toxic in my kitchen. It's just not an option. So I chose this. It seems to be working for thrips, but like I said, I never see them until it's too late. I have no idea what the adults look like in the pot. There's a bunch of insects that I have going on. Quick update on the spinosad treatments. As you are familiar, I had thrip problems, really bad thrip problems, and I've been treating with spinosad for about 3 weeks. I did 3 applications on my whole collection, and I gotta tell you, it's working. This is one of the plants that was always attacked by thrips. This is the RLC Shin Diamond, Tai Young #1, and you know, you'd see these little like wormy things crawling on the buds, and then you'd have water spots and kind of dry edges on the blooms, and I don't have that anymore. These are pristine. I don't see one watermark. And you know what? All but 1 bud made it too. That's a huge improvement. I mean, before I was losing like 3 or 4 buds per spike. So yeah, spinosad or Montreal Garden spinosad treatment works like a charm. I highly recommend it, and I'm going to try out some rose soil drench too, which is imidacloprid, I believe. It's a different type of insecticide, but I want to kind of double up on my insecticide treatments because I want to sterilize my whole collection, and then once it's sterilized, I won't have to worry about the thrips ever again, or anything really, because once you treat with that, it kills everything. So there you go. So this is a purchase I made from Big Leaf Orchids. This is Phalaenopsis gigantea by Phalaenopsis mituo princess. And I bought it because I thought it would be fragrant, and I love the markings on it. The markings are really kind of cool, and the color's kind of nice. It's like this sunset orangey tones, but it doesn't really seem like it's fragrant. I mean, it's like sort of fragrant, but it's not very strong. So a little disappointed in that regard, but maybe it'll get better on another blooming, because I mean, both parents are supposed to be very fragrant, so we'll find out. But here she is. I'm gonna show you some of the roots. I do like big leaf orchids a lot. They sent me a mislabeled plant once, but that's about the extent of my bad shopping experiences with them. Their plants are pretty healthy, and they do have some unique stuff. And their eBay store, it shows you what the flowers look like, because a lot of the times the eBay store is plants that are in bloom at that time. So that's why I got this one, because normally I don't like buying seedlings. Seedlings are too variable, and all the times when I buy seedlings, they don't turn out the way I want them to. But this one's cool. So here's another plant that's bloomed quite a few times for me this year, and I gotta say, this is the best blooming I've had on it so far. I have 2 spikes. They each had 2 buds, so I got 4 flowers going all at the same time, and oh my gosh, this thing smells so good. My whole kitchen smells very much like Cattleya walkeriana, and this is the lavender form of my Cattleya walkeriana. I showed you the cerulean before, which didn't last very long, but it's making a bunch of growths. It's making 4 growths now, so the cerulean one should be blooming again fairly soon. So that's pretty exciting. So now I got a cerulean, I got a semi-alba, and I got a lavender form of Cattleya walkeriana. And out of all of them, this is the healthiest one. I mean, just look at that. That is crazy. That is a crazy blooming. And don't believe the hype when people are like, oh, it only blooms once a year. My Cattleya walkeriana, grown under LED lights, blooms 2 or 3 times a year. And the kind of cool thing about it is that mine branched. Like, here's the growing point is this one, so that was the main branch, and then it made a flower spike off of a side shoot. Like, it just kind of branched randomly, and that's why I have 2 spikes going at the same time. I think I showed you the roots on this a bunch of times, but the roots are really healthy, and it's in a semi-hydro setup, so it's really enjoying the setup. Oh, it smells so good. I got a whiff of that fragrance. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So the Memoria Anabalmoris has bloomed again for me. This is the 3rd or 4th time she's bloomed so far this year. And the reason being is because she is a very big and bushy plant. I've been growing this one for around 3 years now. And because I haven't divided it, it has all these new growing points all over. I'm not sure if this one's gonna bloom as well, but this is the other new growth. Seems like it's starting to make new growths in directions that I don't have LEDs pointing at. So not all of my new growths are blooming, but this one really could bloom a lot. And it smells great. It has Cattleya walkeriana as a parent, so it smells very similar to the Cattleya walkeriana. And you can't beat the size of this either. It's a pretty big and hefty bloom, so here's my hand for perspective. It's one I've shown a lot in a bunch of other videos, so I won't go too crazy into it, but it's kind of at the largest stage of Tupperware that I have. So it's probably going to need to be divided when it starts running over the edge of the Tupperware. So it is Sherry Baby season, and my Sherry Baby is in full bloom. A really long spike. I got like a 4-foot spike, and I had so much branching on it. Forgive the music equipment in the background. I do make music and play in music groups, so that's why there's all these cables and random stuff in the background of my office. But oh my gosh, yeah, this thing's smelling so good. Right now, my kitchen where I have my grow light set up, it smells like a combination of Cattleya walkeriana, which is kind of like vanilla citron, and then Sherry Baby. To some people it smells like vanilla, but to me it smells more like hot cocoa packets. And right now it smells very much so like hot cocoa packets, or like kind of Hershey syrup type of like kind of milk chocolate with sugar added. So it's kind of hard to show you guys, but my Cattleya Mari song, she made 5 new growths, 5 or 6 this season, and I was amazed. Each and every one of them has buds, and let me see if I can't show you. See, here's one spike, another one over here has buds, but you can't see it because my LED lights. But this thing has like at least one bud on each of those new growths that popped up. I sprayed them with some spinosad just to block those evil nasty thrips in case I have any thrips that survive my spinosad treatments, and they're growing along very nicely. No signs of any bugs or anything, so spinosad's the way to go. Same thing with the RLC, oh geez, what are you? Shin Shining Diamond, there we go, man. Too many orchids, I can't remember all the names, but as soon as I started treating with spinosad, my buds are just so luscious, and they haven't really blasted at all. Like, these ones are probably going to open soon, and she just got done blooming off of this spike here. This other new growth, I don't know if it's going to make buds. It has a little tiny sheath, but I don't know if it's going to make it. The Tropical Pointer Cheetah does have a sheath. I don't know if it's going to bloom either. And really, I should repot her because her roots are just, they're not going anywhere where it's getting water, so it's kind of just like a bunch of wasted aerial roots out here. What else is happening? My Phalaenopsis Orchid World Bonnie Vasquez is still working on her 2 spikes, and she smells very fragrant. This is one of those orchids where the fragrance, it improved as the orchid aged. It smells so strong. Like, it's another one that is perfuming up my kitchen right now. Very beautiful plant and extremely healthy and vigorous. I'm actually thinking about replacing some of my Cattleyas that only bloom once a year with some of these novelty phals, because I love the fragrance and I love the color and how long will the blooms last. So I'm thinking about it, but we'll see what I do. This is Ollie Sierra Marfitch Howard's Dream. I mean, the reality is this plant is a no ID. I got it from Trader Joe's, but it looks pretty similar to Bealaria Marfitch Howard's Dream, and it's got 3 spikes going currently. The leaves again look nasty. It's kind of par for the course with Oncidiums for me. They bloom just fine and they grow roots just fine, but they just look like they're sick all the time. So yeah, I mean, I'll take the blooms. If it stopped blooming, it'd go in the garbage for sure, but it's making a pretty good spike. The buds look a little on the pale side. I remember these being a lot more purple the last year when this bloomed. So I hope the buds that are on there make it. They just look a little sick, but fingers crossed for that one. No signs of bugs either, so I don't think it's a bug issue. I think it's that I'm not watering the plant enough. So, and the grow tent looks really bad, but this is what I was talking about with the Cattleya Walkeriana. You see those little nubbins popping out? And this is because I increased the light going to this plant. I gave it a bigger LED light bulb. And because I did that, it's making a bunch of side shoots around that light. So really, I want to dedicate more space to this one. I really liked it when it bloomed this last cycle. So that's all I got for you guys. This is a really long video, so if you stuck through it all the way, thank you so much. If you're a new viewer, don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.